All right, I am joined today by Brian Baker, Vice President for Enrollment Management at Oakland City University. Brian, thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today.
The people who are watching this don't know the back and forth we had. The first one was you were in a car and you were so graciously going to pull over and do the interview from the car, but I did not want you to have to take your time out. So I do appreciate the getting back on a second date for that. So
Happy to do it. It's that time of year where admissions folks, we are traveling all over the country. So
yeah,
good to be with you. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so first of all, Oakland City University. Why don't you just tell me a little bit about it? Tell us, where it is, the students, what all you've got, and why someone should consider attending Oakland City.
Sure. So Oakland City University is located in southwestern Indiana, 30 miles outside of Evansville. And Oakland City University, or Oakland City College, was founded in 1885. We have been here a long time. And we are known throughout the state of Indiana, if you will, as a teacher-preacher college. You will hear that about Oakland City. Now, we think that we have a lot of other programs now, especially within our School of Business, is our largest a major in terms of enrollment. And we've got a lot of new things like creative technologies and computer science and criminal justice and psychology. And the university really has expanded into what Dr. Dempsey, our president, has called a professional Christian university.
Okay, yeah. So, what do you look for in a student who would want to attend there? What are the potential students you're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're looking for a student, number one, like myself, and I'm an Oakland City alum. I went to college here, met my wife here, but I was looking to go to a Christian college, looking at those types of schools in Indiana and Kentucky. For me, Oakland City really stood out because it's a small family type atmosphere. And I would also say it's a very safe campus. We've constantly been recognized as one of the safest colleges in Indiana. And I think that goes to being in a small town, being a rural community, but also in the network that we have, the family type relationships that we have here with faculty and staff and our students.
How many students attend Oakland City?
Yeah, absolutely. So this past fall, we're about 450 undergraduate main campus. Now, total Oakland City University is going to be between 800 and 1,000, and that would include our graduate programs. And like I mentioned earlier, as Dr. Dempsey has labeled us as a professional university, you'll find Oakland City University has master's degrees and even a doctorate in EDD in educational leadership.
Okay. Now, as far as the admissions requirements, what are some of the admissions requirements to get into Oakland City?
Absolutely. So we look for students with a GPA of 2.5 or higher, and we are test optional. Now, there is a range within 2.0 and 2.5 where we can conditionally accept students. Sometimes we get to that level. We like to see a test score, but we're 2.5 or higher would get a student in without conditions.
Okay. So, and then I'm sure with 2.0 to 2.5, there's some other conditions in there as well. I'd probably look at how have your last couple of years been and things like that.
Absolutely. And we like to, when we see students in that level, we like to identify that as a freshman. That way we can get them in tutoring and mentoring. I will say one of the things that Dr. Dempsey has done in the last 2 years is success communities. So all of our freshmen, regardless of what level they're in, are put into a group of 10 to 12 students, and we follow them. They have a coach, a success coach, and we go through the freshman year. We talk about life. We talk about college life, not just some academics, but also campus life and their spiritual life and all of those things that go into a well-rounded college student.
Yeah. So you talked about business, you talked about teaching and preaching and business. What are some of the other majors, or what are some of the majors that you have? And are there any like schools or majors that you can get into that have different admissions requirements than the regular classes, I guess?
So the admissions requirements would be the same across the board. Now, of course, with School of Education, we're going to look at specific teacher licensing program or or tests that they would need to have within the School of Education, but that would be across the board. I do want to say in terms of our program, we are a liberal arts traditionally, historically. So you see things like biology, pre-med, several of our students go on to medical school, those types of things. But I also wanted to mention our newest program, if you will. One of the newest programs is Creative Technologies. And in partnership with Toyota Motor North America, or Toyota Indiana, we've created a new Creative Technologies and Computer Science degrees. And Toyota is located in Gibson County, Indiana. And it's really one of the staples of our community of southwestern Indiana. They've just done so much for our area. But we partnered with them to start this new program, and we've created a makerspace on campus. So you get things like prototyping, you get a lot of the manufacturing pieces that you will have at Toyota, and we're just really excited about it. This is our second year, so we're kicking it off and getting it off the ground, but students are really enjoying that, and also computer science. We are moving towards a university that is able to get students into careers. We're career-minded. We want to help students think about that early on.
Now, with the creative technology, is that something that they could use to move the engineering route?
Yes, Dr. Dempsey, our president, he calls it engineering without all of the math. So you do have some math, but you don't have the high levels of math. And the president of Toyota really liked that idea because they're looking for folks on the line. They're looking for people who can do a lot of different things in terms of manufacturing that may not necessarily need all of the math that an engineer would have.
And then as far as the business school goes, does that have different prongs to it, I guess, or is it, like marketing, or is that just straight business?
It is, yes, different prongs to it, and there are different concentrations. So like for my example, I was an accounting concentration. So I have a business administration degree in accounting. And again, a lot of our students you'll see go into accounting, they will become CPAs, or they'll work in corporate accounting. They'll do a lot of different things, but accounting, marketing, management, human resources. And then we've even added a new minor this year in agribusiness. We're really excited about that because, again, in our area of Indiana, a lot of our students come from a farming background. And although they may not go back and necessarily run the farm, they may have a career that works in the farming industry.
Yeah, I tell you, just a little bit of personal here. Southwest Indiana, that's God's country down there. My family's from Knox County, so I'm familiar with.
You're from Knox. Well, it is God's County, and it has been for a long time. Now we're really excited because I-69 that connects Indianapolis to Evansville comes right through Oakland City. And it is such a short commute to Evansville, but also now to Indianapolis. I came back that way last week, and even Franklin, your students there. I think they'll find that they've got an easier route to get down into southwestern Indiana now.
Hey, a direct route down there. You can't go wrong.
Right.
And then so do you guys offer internships as well? Do students have a chance to do internships when they're at Oakland City?
We do, absolutely. So we have a Center for Calling and Career, as we call it, that helps them with job placement and internships. It's a requirement of many of our programs that they're working in those jobs before they graduate. Again, we're really starting to move to this professional type of university that is career-minded. Nothing against the liberal arts. That will always be part, I think, of college or university, but we're really shifting our focus in that area because that's why students go to college, right? That's why we go through the work, we spend 4 years, is because we want to come out, we want to get a high-paying, a good job. And so that's where we're focused.
Gotcha. So last here, the cost. What's the cost to attend Oakland City, and what kind of financial aid do kids have to look to?
Sure. So the first thing I would say as we look at cost and those types of things, Oakland City University has one of the best scholarship programs of any college, private or public, in Indiana. You're going to find the overall tuition around $26,000, and the room and board's around $10,000. So and I hate using this analogy, but it really is true. When you're looking at a car, you're going to see it cost $36,000 to attend their ballpark, Oakland City University. Now, our students have again, a wide range of scholarships that I think we are going to be as competitive as any college in Indiana.
Yeah, and then and it's always the sticker price is one thing, and what you're actually going to pay is always different. So
Correct.
all right. So last question here, Brian. What is one thing that you wish you knew? Take yourself back to 5 or 6 years ago when you and I are applying for colleges. What are some things that you wish you would have known about that process?
Yeah, I wish that I would have a couple of things. I wish I would have thought about the scholar. Again, let's go back to that, the scholarships that are out there. And I think students don't realize the opportunities that even the institutions have and the ways in which to get them. Sometimes, honestly, we make them too complicated for students to have access to those monies. But for example, Oakland City University has endowment scholarships that have been left by donors to go towards specific students. The students have to apply. They have to thank the donors for their gifts. But there just are a number of resources out there. The other thing I would tell students is just enjoy college. Enjoy that time. It really is, as I've said, one of the best times in your life. And you really need to find a school that fits you. The three things that I've always said, the three most important decisions in your life for me is, are you going to follow God and the path that he has for you? The second is who you're going to marry. And the third is where you're going to go to college. And oftentimes number three affects number two. And in my case, it did.
Yeah, you liked it so much they couldn't get rid of you there at Oakland City.
That's right. I'm Oakland City all the way.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate learning about Oakland City, and I know our students will too. So once again, Brian Baker, Vice President for Enrollment Management at Oakland City University.
Thank you so much.